What's up, everybody? So welcome to my tutorial. This is the first tutorial I've ever done, so bear with me. I'm going to teach you today how to make a guy look like he's floating. And this is going to be a more like unrealistic kind of psychedelic trip, dreamscape looking effect rather than like a realistic floating man with shadows and details and all. So let's begin. Okay, first things first, before you do this, you're going to need two things. Green screen footage. You either could find a cheap studio locally. There's some, at least in Los Angeles, that go for around 20 to 30 an hour that come pre-lit, so they're super helpful. Or you could get a green screen off Amazon for like $10, $20 and do it anywhere. Do it at your home, do it at your apartment, and hang it up on the wall, light it up, and you're good. Now, the way that we have our guy floating on his back is two things. So we have the main green screen here to get the background, but also you're going to need something to separate him and make it look like he's floating. So we took an Apple box. If you don't know what that is, it's this. So an Apple box, usually studios have them, or you could ask a friend who's in the film industry to borrow it, or get one off Craigslist or Let Go or anything. So we took that, we took the Apple box, and then we took another green screen sheet that I got off Amazon, pretty cheap, like $10, $15, and we laid it over so then there was green from the background and also under him, so then he could lay on his back and make it look like he was floating. Also, make sure wherever you're filming this, whether at a studio or at home, that the floor is also covered green. Now, the next thing you're going to need is a landscape. If you live close enough to the desert, I would recommend this because it's vast and it's empty, but you really could do anything as long as you leave enough room where you could kind of fit him in somewhere between the sky and the land. First thing, I'm going to go here to modify and interpret footage and change over to 23.98 frames per second from my 60 frames per second so I can make it nice and slow motion. Landscape video in 60 frames per second so you could get that more surreal and smooth look. So once you're ready, go here, find the clip you like and drag it in, change sequence settings to match video and drag it out. Okay, now let's drag in our green screen footage. Let's match it up with the landscape, and now we're going to select it. We're going to go and click Replace with After Effects Composition. This will open up After Effects to a new sequence, and we'll get started from here. Okay, now so let's go to our bottom layer and click Lock to make sure we don't move it around by accident. Now let's scale our green screen guy down appropriately and move him up toward the sun. We're going to go to Effects and Presets, and we're going to close that off and go to Keying, and we're going to look for Key Light 1.2 and drag that right on our green screen, and now click Screen Color and go for the green. Okay, so now that we have this, it's not just perfect yet, so we're going to go to Screen Matte, Clip Black, and tweak it until we get rid of all that there. And zoom in, check for any little specks, and boom. Now let's search for radial blur and drag that on our guy, but let's not make it that intense. Let's lower it on a mount, make it a little lower. Let's see, maybe a little less, like 5, and a little less, 4. Keep playing with it until you feel like it's right. I think a 2 would be best. So that just gives us a little more motion blur to kind of blend him in. Okay, so now that's all set. Let's unlock our landscape and let's add a trippy effect. So let's go to Turbulent Displace under Distort and let's play around. Okay, so we have him here. Let's go to Size. Let's mess around with that. I want to kind of make a nice curve for him to fit into. So that's good. Now let's change the amount to make it a little more intense. Okay, so let's go back to our floating man and move him around. So we want to just find a good position for him. Could keep messing around with it until you see something you like. And now we're going to give it a little rotation, so click R and rotate it there. Kind of fit him into the curve, the trippy landscape. Okay, now that our guy's in a good position, let's go back to our landscape and let's lock him down. Now let's go to CC Light Rays and add that in the background to place it right on the sun or basically any light source if you're doing your own footage. And now let's go to intensity. Let's bring that up. Let's go to radius. Let's bring that up. Really make that look, surreal and much brighter. It's going to add a good effect that kind of blends him in as well. Let's add some movement to the landscape. So we're going to go to the beginning of our clip and then go to our turbulent display settings. Let's click size and amount to key those. So now let's go to our ending point and we're going to want to decrease the size. Here, let's increase the amount. So that gives us a cool motion if you play it back here. Okay, fine, let's go back to our floating guy and let's make him move. So let's go to position and key his position at the start of the clip. And I'll go to about where you want it to end, match it with the movement, move him up a little bit here. Let's go a little bit further, let's give him a little more movement. And now let's play this back and see how it looks. Voila, there you have him, moving with the desert. Finally, let's go back to our Premiere and let's save our project. And now let's watch it live update. There we go. Let's bring it down here. And final touch, we're going to add a LUT to, color correction will just bring both of the compositions together. And wow, there we have it. Okay, so for our final touch, let's get our soundtrack of choice, add it in, match it with our clip, and now let's play it back. If you have made it this far, thank you for watching. So I've put a Google Drive link in the description where you could download all the footage and materials if you want to try this out yourself and don't necessarily have the resources to go and film your own thing. Feel free to learn and use my footage to practice with. Peace. Make sure you subscribe.
When they start sitting down, pretty much think we gon' get it out. But lately it ain't enough. And lately it ain't enough.
That's a backbreaker.
You're a trooper, bro.
That's a backbreaker, dog. That's a backbreaker.
Do it for the craft, man.
Oh, take my breath away.